Baldur's Gate 3 is still racking in the success with the amount of player count that we have on Steam upwards of 60k, with an overall increase of player count across the board. Active users also increased by around 20% and 61% for the Steam Deck. Today, Larian just dropped a community update regarding patch number 8. That will be the final update that we'll be getting for Baldur's Gate 3, and it focuses on bringing us all of the promises that was mentioned in patch number 7. That will be the crossplay as well as photo mode. But the most surprising thing is that Larian is going to be adding 12 new subclasses to the game. We have an update to unpack, so let's check it out. From this time of recording, Larian just dropped a few hours ago the community post that is regarding patch number 8, titled Community Update number 30. So we're going to be getting photo mode, crossplay, and 12 new subclasses that's going to be coming up for next year. Christmas just came in just a little bit early for us because of this confirmation. For the opening letter, Larian just confirmed that we just uploaded 3,000 mods already and did 70 million downloads in a span of just a year. I'm really happy for the modding community as we just keep on growing. For you guys who don't know what is crossplay, it is a function in the game to let all of the players from different platforms play in a single save session. The post mentions that whenever you're joining PS5 players from your PC or jumping into a game with a Mac user from your Xbox, Baldur's Gate 3 multiplayer will soon feature full cross-platform progression, including crossplay just as the game mod intended. Once the update is live, you'll be able to invite your friends to join the crossplay lobby regardless of the platform, find available multiplayer lobbies with friends on other systems using Larian's network. Just make sure you have a Larian account active and you are properly playing the game on official channels. Another feature that we'll be getting for patch number 8 will be photo mode. This is not just your regular photo mode, guys. It is more of like a mini photo booth that lets us set up pretty much any shots that we like. This feature will introduce new options to customize and edit our game photography with various levels of freedom depending on whatever we're using while we are doing our adventures, during our combat, dialogues, or maybe cinematic scenes. There's this really cool thing on the HUD where you can adjust your camera angles or maybe the toggleable distance or range that you can adjust if you want to get that perfect shot. There's also a cool function which is the lens setting that determines the angles in different positions that we'll be able to jump through, where we can play around our field of view, exposure, depth of field, and focus. If you notice, we have options like field of view right here, that's just the temperature. You also have options to fix your camera into a different field, focus on a character. In this case here, we are focusing on Karlach, focusing the strength as well as the distance for our characters. Third function will be the scene setting. This will let us toggle either the player, party, NPCs, or enemy encounters. We can choose from different musical instruments, facial features, plus a range of 40 static and animated poses for each multiple variants to give us the perfect look. If you check out the character setting, there are toggleable boxes for our tab, party members, NPCs, and enemies right there. Expression is at default. Just below that are the poses. For this example, we have the jumping. Apparently, we can select what sort of jump the character will be doing. Placement is also adjusted. That will be the X, Y, and Z axis. The other tab indicates what are the things that we want to see in the shot. Things that I can make out is the show battle damage. The show helmet and the show weapons are active, so we see the weapons at their backs. This is show equipment, I presume. Most likely, this will show what sort of gear that you are currently rocking with. We also have a box for set camp clothes. If you want to really go all out, you can also go with the post-processing effects. This will let you color grade your shots after you took them, so you can experiment with the contrast, saturation, highlights, brightness. Looking at this example, this is a really cool shot here that was color graded by a playtester. Other stuff are the stickers. You can select from 300 stickers and add up to 30 per scene, including emojis, icons, blood splatter, textures, objects, and items, and of course, cat ears. You notice the Dark Urge has a crown on its head. Apparently, one of the Illithids now has cat ears or a cat face. Another example right here is we have an implementation of the frames as well as the stickers. We have a photo of a dragonborn doing it with a dwarf or in a bed or something. And Gale is curiously watching while at the back. I don't know who is that at the back. I think that will be Shadowheart. I may be wrong, but we also have a Will sticker at the upper right side. I'm really curious to know what the player base will be doing for these features right here. Now we're just going to be going through some of the confirmed classes that will be coming for patch number 8, starting with the Bard College of Glamour. As a College of Glamour Bard, you'll find you have the power to heal your friends and command your enemies in equal measure, cast Mantle of Inspiration to bestow your allies with 5 temporary hit points, and should an enemy attack while it is cast, they'll find themselves charmed. It seems like it works like the ability of our enchantment wizard. Play your hand correctly and you'll be able to use your advantage with the Mantle of Majesty. Target charmed enemies and you can command them to flee, move closer, freeze, drop to the ground, or drop their items. It sounds like the College of Glamour works like a support, more of like CC and healing allies. I'm already curious on what sort of build I can make with this. I can actually enhance this with my Enchantress build. Most likely this is going to be really fun. Another subclass that was confirmed is one of my favorite subclasses that is for the 5e, which is the Path of the Giant Barbarian. If you don't know guys, the Path of the Giant is a colossal monster that literally increases its size when it rages. You can be really gigantic with this one. Overall, using your abilities like Giant Form from the Baldur and Greatsword and large or other size enhancing abilities, as well as having the ability to use Elemental Cleaver that imbues elemental effects to your weapons. The confirmed subclass for the Cleric is the Death Domain. As a Cleric of Death, you'll find a few dark new tricks up your sleeve, from spells that specializes in necrotic damage to 3 new necromancy cantrips. This will include the Toll of the Dead that we already know from the 5e mod, a cantrip that causes 1 to 8 damage when your Cleric rings the bell of impending doom. That's quite interesting. This is a number that scales if your target has already been damaged. They also added a homebrew ability for a corpse explosion damaging enemies nearby. I already imagine collecting some of the corpses that we have for the run, throw them to our enemies, and then let them explode with the power of the Death Domain. That will be sick. Circle of the Stars will be for the Druid. This is quite interesting. I haven't heard of this before. These druids look to the stars for answers, assessing powers beyond those offered through the classic wild shape, taking on one of the 3 starry forms. For their power, the constellation of the Archer, Chalice, and the Dragon. Each one favors different playstyles and strategy. The Archer deals radiant damage and astral arrows. Life-giving Chalice restores hit points to you and your other allies. And the Wise Dragon allows us to deal damage with an added bonus of constitution rolls. The starry forms offer not just celestial aesthetic, but practical, powerful options to enhance your role as a healer, fighter, or strategist. Oath of the Crown Paladins are something quite new to me as well. They are the type of paladins who are sworn to uphold the principles of law. By staying true to our oath, you will be rewarded with the powers to aid our allies and disrupt our foes, guide our companions in battle with righteous clarity, taunt enemies with strategic interrupts, keep your party standing strong with the divine allegiance, absorbing their damage while restoring their health. And the next one is one of my favorite fighter classes ever in 5e, which is the Fighter Arcane Archer. Finally, we now have a class dedicated to the bow use of the fighter. The Arcane Archer subclass offers unique skills on top of new shooting animation. Lauren's gonna be following the 5e. We already have an example of that in a mod that will be using the Banishing Arrows to banish your foes, unleashing psychic damage that focuses on enemies making wisdom saving throws, blinding arrows that can blind your target for a turn. The Arcane Archer may also have arrows that ignore terrain, so you can position yourself behind a tree and you can still shoot down your enemies without any penalties. Drunken Master is confirmed for the monks. As the Drunken Master, you have the ability to consume alcohol straight from our inventory, as well as drink from bottles you see around the Sword Coast in order to recover your key. By sharing the bottles with your enemies using Intoxication Strike, you'll generate a buff towards your AC and increases your chance to hit your drunken targets. Drunk enemies are also susceptible to the Drunken Master's other abilities, like Sombering Realization, which sombers up your target, dealing physical damage and psychic attacks. For the Ranger, we have the Swarm Keeper. Most likely this will be a summoner subclass focusing on summoning different animals for them to aid you in battle, like the example that we have here, which is the Cloud of Jellyfish that deals extra lightning damage, potentially shocking our enemies. Flurry of Moths that deals psychic damage, giving us the potential to blind our enemies. The Legion of Bees that deals piercing damage while forcing our enemies to do a strength saving throw or be knocked back by 15 feet. All of the swarms have a quality of life function that it will teleport to your side whenever you summon them. The Rogue has one of the most interesting subclasses that I wanted to have ever, which is the Swashbuckler. The Swashbuckler is focused on doing unhanded tactics to have advantage in the battlefield. Plays dirty by tossing sand at enemies' eyes to blind them, flicking enemies' weapon to disarm them, or maybe use fancy footwork to provide disadvantage to enemies, like preventing them to make opportunity attacks for the rest of their turn. The confirmed subclass that we'll be getting for our spellcaster, starting with the sorcerer, is the Shadow Magic. We are now able to use the power of darkness. This subclass gives the sorcerer superior dark vision, as well as the ability to do shadow walk between places with dim light and darkness, It also lets us call forth a perfectly homebrew Hound of the Ill Omen to harass our foes. The Hexblade will be the new subclass for the Warlocks. This type of Warlocks have made a pact with the entities of the Shadowfell, which manifest in the form of magical weapons. We can curse our enemies and force their souls to do our bidding, slay an enemy that isn't generally an elemental of nature, construct, giant blob, or already dead, and you'll be able to raise their spirits from their corpses for 10 turns. This new summons can deal necrotic damage and will rip away a chunk of your enemy's soul to provide your Hexblade Warlock with healing. For the final one will be the Wizard. We'll be getting the Blade Singer. Finally, we'll be having an official magical swordsman for our Wizard class. The Blade Singing subclass merges swordplay with wizardry. Expect new spellcasting animations when casting spells with our weapons, a new Blade Song ability to grant us supernatural speed, agility, and focus, plus gives us a bonus to our Constitution saving throws. For the final announcement, Larian is planning to do another stress test for patch number 8 like they did for patch number 7. That unfortunately I haven't had a chance to be a part of. They'll be doing the stress test across all platforms, that will be Xbox, PlayStation, as well as PC, with the goal of testing the features as much as possible in order for it to be at least as successful as patch number 7. If you're asking when will be the playtest, they're planning to do it around early January. Opportunities to register most likely will be next month. We will just need to look forward for Community Update 31, and I hope Larian gives me a chance with this one. Baldur's Gate 3 also has a community support nomination for the Game Awards this year. If you guys want to give them your support, don't forget to vote the name for the Game Awards before December 11. And that's it guys for Baldur's Gate 3 news. Are you guys excited for the final patch? Do you want to be part of the playtest like me? Maybe you're interested in cross-player photo mode? I would love to know all about it in the comments below. Shout out to all the people who subscribe and keep supporting the channel. I really appreciate you guys for all the amazing support. And for all the people who haven't subscribed yet, thank you for watching my videos, and I hope I earn your subscriptions in the future. But if I earn it today, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button, really helps me out a lot. If you want to support me directly, join button is below, or maybe Patreon if you want to go that route. Want to know what are the top 16 mods for November that you need, or maybe if you're into comprehensive builds or maybe showcases, just click this videos right here. Finally, that's it for me. I'll see you soon. The next Master Box Show. Peace out. Bye guys.